Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and my first ever makeup tutorial. I am so excited. I have wanted to start a YouTube channel and do a makeup tutorial for such a long time now. Today I created this, what I like to call my everyday go-to look and also a very beginner look. So if there's anyone out there that's maybe looking to elevate their look or get a little bit into more makeup, I hope this is a very first basic video for you to watch. If you have not seen my first video on YouTube, it was a winter outfit video and I will link that in the description box below. Otherwise, let's get started. Okay, so I already moisturized. It's with this Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. It's for oily to combination skin and I've used it for the longest time because I have acne prone skin and it works really well. And then as I get older, I've been trying to take more care of my skin, so I've been using this Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream, and it works really well under concealer. So first I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I already know that it's not my shade. I've really struggled to find a foundation that has like a warm or yellow undertone to it. A lot of these foundations, they look really pink on my skin. I have found a few brands that I would like to buy though. I just have to go ahead and commit to it. At the same time, I just am a little bit tired of buying so many foundations and then they just kind of sit in a box and I know that I'm never going to use them. So I'm just going to dab this all over my face with my finger. Try not to make it too complicated or to use too many tools. And I would definitely recommend if you're getting into makeup or you're wanting to explore a little bit more, there are some great drugstore brands that have some really good foundations, so you're not spending a whole ton of money on a name brand foundation and then if it doesn't seem to match, then it seems like you're not wasting so much money. Alright, I'm just going to bounce this in with my beauty sponge. And since this doesn't really match my skin perfectly, I always try to make sure I bring it down my neck. And this is a Real Technique sponge. I really like it because it kind of has this other end to it that can allow you to get really close underneath your eye. The cream, blush, or highlighter, you can use the other end for that purpose. Alright, so now that that's all nicely blended in, I'm going to move on to my concealer, which is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Honey Medium. I'm just going to apply that under my eyes in that kind of triangle shape. I like to wing it out to the side of my face too because it kind of gives you like a clean look. I first started really getting into makeup about like 5 or 4 years ago because I just wanted to kind of, I guess, elevate my look, if you will, or just get better at it. So I started just like doing some research online, which led me to YouTube. And the first makeup video that I ever watched was Kylie Jenner's, and it was like a full face, and her makeup artist Hoola was doing it, and I was so lost. They used so many products before even putting any makeup on her face. I was so lost. I had my pen and paper, I was trying to write everything down. I probably watched that video like 2 or 3 more times. But then as I started looking, I found a lot more other YouTubers and other people that I really like to watch even today. And it just made it a lot more easy and simple and a lot more achievable. So I hope this video does that for you. And it can allow you to kind of learn the basics and then grow from there and just get better and better every time. I've seen some memes where it's like, oh my gosh, you learned to do your makeup on YouTube, and then it's like someone that has like crazy makeup on or they're looking like a clown or something. But I think the difference between those people and like someone that gets really good at it watching YouTube, which I think YouTube is a great like learning technique to go to, or like a learning platform, because you can learn so much. But I think the difference between that is people that actually go that extra step and practice on themselves or practice on their family or friends or like other people, because the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. And I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, well, aren't you wasting your makeup just practicing? It's like, well, no, if you're practicing, learning something, then I don't believe it's a waste of makeup. So before I go ahead and put some translucent powder underneath my eyes, I'm just gonna kind of dab it out with my ring finger to make sure that it's kind of blended well into these creases I have. So I'm just gonna dust this underneath my eyes. I'm not going to bake today since this is like an everyday look, or if I did wear makeup every day, this is what I would do. So again, on the other side, this is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I've had this since the beginning of when I really started to get into makeup, and I still have so much left. And I think it's a really good product to splurge on because they give you so much powder. I'm also going to put that around my T-zone, down my nose, and then around these smile lines. And if you don't feel comfortable nose contouring yet, there are a few things you can do to make your nose appear smaller. And one of those things is taking some powder, and you're gonna kind of want to take a little bit more, is you're just gonna kind of, like you were baking, just press that along the sides of your nose, kind of like up towards the bridge, and then that will give it the appearance that your nose is smaller. So I'm gonna let that sit, and then I will wipe it off later. So what I like to do is I like to let my foundation and my concealer kind of set and dry. So while I do that, I move on to my brows. And for my brows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I love this product, and I think it's really super user-friendly. When I first started doing my brows, I was using powder, and they just looked really like harsh. It was probably because of my blending skills, or I guess it would be my lack of. So I'm just gonna take this pencil. I think what's really great is that it gives you like those hair-like strokes, and then if you do mess up, there's this great spoolie on the end that's also used for blending, but it's almost like an eraser, so if you mess up, you can just kind of comb through and it disappears. So I'm just going to run this through my brows. I think brows were probably one of the things I struggled with most, because I just kind of had difficulty finding my own shape and what, I guess, product worked for me. So if you're kind of struggling with brows, I would suggest maybe finding someone on YouTube that kind of has the similar eyebrow shape to you, and then maybe that tutorial can help you a little bit more. I think the difficult thing about brows is that everyone just has like such a unique shape, and every shape doesn't work for everyone, so you have to find the shape and then just find the best product that works for you. Okay. And the key is to always blend. Blend, blend, blend. So with my eyebrows, I focus on the areas where I don't have a lot of hair, which is underneath my brows, and then over the top. Kind of in the middle, and I guess like the meat of my brows, I do have a lot of hair. it's just kind of like those outer kind of like lines. I'm done with my brows, and the next step is completely optional, but I'm going to do it today because I am growing out my brows and there's like a lot of kind of like crazy growth that of course it's growing in the places that I don't need it and not growing in the places that I do. So I'm just gonna highlight under my brow to kind of conceal some of those sparse hairs that usually is clean. So I'm just gonna put that underneath, and any product that I have I'm just gonna drag down my lid. Alright, and then next I'm going to move right on to the eyes. And since it's an everyday kind of makeup look, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to be using the Hoola Benefit bronzer in this fluffy brush from BH Cosmetics. I got it in their smoke set. Their brushes are really inexpensive but really good quality. I'm just going to swirl that around top of the excess and then kind of just put that in my crease and all over the lid. Even though this is a brown bronzer, I like to use it as like a transition color or on its own, and I really like products that are used for double use, because then that means less things I have to look for, less products you have to pull out of your drawer or your bag. So if you're in a hurry, that's also a really good reason as well. And then anything that I kind of have extra, I just kind of like pull out to this side of my face. But I try not to do that until I know that all the product's gone, so you don't get like crazy raccoon eyes. I'm also not afraid to come in here and do a little bit of like top nose contour, because this is actually the shade or the product that I use to contour my nose. So just again on this eye, back, forth, back, forth. Like I said, these brushes are really nice and soft, so it just feels actually really nice. And again, up in this, and then just kind of drag anything down on my lid. And then even if you want to get a little bit more pigment or have a little bit more definition, you can take a smaller blending brush and just go ahead and kind of focus more on the crease in the lid if you want a little bit more eyeshadow there. Smaller brush is from Morphe and I got it in a set. I would recommend, if you're looking for brushes, to maybe look for like a set, because they give you kind of like a combination of everything between brushes. And then once you get into more makeup, or you realize, okay, I need something more like this, or something like this fits maybe your technique or your style a little bit more, you can kind of go in and look for those more detailed brushes that you'd like to try. Okay, so next I'm gonna curl my lashes. And then before I put on mascara, I forgot, I'm going to take this same Hoola bronzer in this little, more like pencil fluffy brush. It was also in this smoke set from BH Cosmetics. And I'm going to take that color and just run it under my bottom lash. I really like to do this with every look, because when I first started doing my makeup, I guess in high school, I always felt like I had to have like a liner, but eyeshadow makes it so much softer, but it still gives you like that look and that color. I always like to do this because it makes your eyes look a little bit bigger, and then it just kind of connects the eye look together. I'm just gonna smoke that back and forth, buff it in, and that's all. Alright, so now that we're done with that and I curl my lashes, I'm gonna go ahead and put my mascara on. This is the Tarte Maneater. I really love Tarte's mascara. I would like to use drugstore mascara for the price, but I've just found that there's like a smell that drugstore mascaras have that I just don't like that smell. And I noticed it when I first bought this, and then I went back to a drugstore concealer and I was mascara, and I couldn't do it. But there are some really good drugstore mascaras. So don't feel like you have to get name brand with everything. Alright. And then the bottom lashes. Alright, and then next, to finish out the eyes, I'm going to be taking this nude liner from Tarte. It's very nude, and I'm going to line my inner waterline, and that just gives the effect that your eyes are more open. And you can honestly pick any color from nude to white to like a pink pastel, a blue pastel. Any of those kind of colors have the same effect. So it's just kind of like how dramatic you want it to be. The lighter and more bright, the bigger and brighter your eyes are gonna look, and the more kind of nude tone like this is gonna be a little bit more subtle. Alright, next we're gonna move back into the skin. And what I'd like to do first is do some bronzing. I'm going to take this little NYX Cheek Contour Duo palette. I've had it for the longest time, in this nice dual-ended brush from Bare Minerals with kind of like this angled contour look. Just going to take that, tap it off, and then kind of start going in. When I first started wearing makeup, I first started wearing Bare Minerals powder. So I do have a lot of brushes that are like Bare Minerals, and their brushes are great. It was the whole, I used the powder foundation that was the whole kind of like put in the lid, swirl around, tap off, and then put on. I'm laughing because my makeup in high school was horrendous. I barely had anything on when I thought I was putting on so much. Like if I ever got like powder, and like I put powder on my face and it kind of like gave off like some product, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's way too much. And I actually kind of needed a more like full coverage foundation because with my acne, I don't know how I did it, but so I had that on, and then sometimes I would do some like concealer, but it was powdered concealer, and sometimes I would have it, sometimes I wouldn't. I don't know, it was like whatever came in the like package that my grandma would order, no less. And I had that on. I would do really like thick, heavy eyeliner, and then mascara, no brows. I think I did get a little bit adventurous with blush because they had a lot of blushes also, and that was it. And it was like I had nothing. Like my past makeup was nothing. So I'm sure you can imagine that when I got into this and like seeing all the products, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so much makeup. But really, I mean, it is a lot of makeup, but I think it looks really well if you do it right. So again, I'm just going back in with the Hoola bronzer and just kind of giving myself a little bit more bronzed look. And then next I will move on to blush, and this is from Bare Minerals. It's this big pan of blush and it is called Equinox. I'm going to be using this brush from Morphe. It was the one that I also got that blending brush in the set. So like I said, when you do buy brushes in a set, they definitely give you like a variety of everything. So I think that's a great place to start. So I'm just going to take some of this, swirl it around, tap it off. Go ahead and give that cheesy smile. Just kind of work it in. Alright, and then next for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie, their collaboration in their Fuego highlighter. I love these two girls, and they are someone that I still watch today and that I'm always watching their videos. I got this when it was in the first collection and I really love it. It's kind of like an everyday, like bronzy gold, really nice highlighter, and it's definitely buildable if you want it to be, if that's the look that you want. So I just do it over the high points of my cheeks. I do know that when they did their second collection, they brought this highlighter back as well. I'm just not sure if they still have it or if it's sold out, but it's definitely a very good investment. And then I use this little BH Cosmetics brush, this little highlighter. I found with highlighting, I kind of like a smaller brush for a little bit more detail and kind of like precisely where I can put it, rather than like a larger brush that's kind of spread over a wider area. All right, and then that other thing that you can do to make your nose look smaller, and I do this all the time, is I like to highlight my nose. So it gives it that smaller effect as well. So this is again something, if you don't feel comfortable with nose contouring, this is another step that will make your nose look a little bit slimmer. So I'm just going to take that highlighter again, and on the bridge of my nose, just place that. And then I like to take a little bit more and put it on the tip so it looks a little bit smaller. That cute button nose effect. And then also, while I have my highlighter, I'm going to do a little bit of an inner corner highlight. I'm just going to place this right here. So I love this highlighter. Definitely use it as an everyday kind of highlighter. Like a very gold, bronzy look. Alright, and then the last step that I like to do is set my face, and I love this MAC Fix Plus, and it's also another dual purpose product, so you can use it to prep your face, set your face, and then also if you're picking up like a pigment or a glitter shadow, if you spray this on your brush beforehand, it's going to give you a little bit more pigment and like payoff when you apply it on your eyes. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that. Kind of like to let it dry, but then what I also like to do is my beauty blender and just bounce it on my face until it kind of dries. I feel like that way it kind of like sets everything in and it kind of blends everything together, but that's just a personal preference, something I do that makes me feel a little bit better. Alright, and then the last thing to finish off this look is the lip, and it's another Dose of Colors product by Desi and Katie. It was from their second collection. This is their liquid lipstick, and I believe it's their Velvet formula in My Main. I really love this one because it's kind of like an everyday on the go, and I believe that's how Desi uses it as well. But I've also found that for myself, so if I'm in a hurry and I'm not really sure what lip I want to use, I always just reach for this one because I only apply this and I'm not using like a lip liner or a gloss or anything else, so I can just apply this and go. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe up some of that foundation that is on my lips. And it is their Velvet formula, so it's really nice and easy to work with, and then also when you have it on throughout the day, it doesn't dry and it still feels like it can move. Alright, so this is the finished makeup look. This is my go-to kind of everyday look, and also I would call it a very beginner look. I'm so glad that I finally sat down to film this and start my channel. I hope this inspires all of you to maybe get a little more creative with makeup, or maybe kind of elevate your look. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you don't feel like afraid to kind of dive into it, because makeup's a lot of fun and you might find that you just might love it as much as I do. If there's anything that I may have missed, or you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you like this type of video, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm hoping to be doing more in the future. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Bye.
Live from Monday night, Monday afternoon, this is Leah. First show. First Gradanda.
Okay, goodbye.
I'll be in here shaving my stash. Oh.
The other end of my beauty blender. Oh boy, I have makeup on my teeth.